it little donks or is it where you came from? Everybody wants to know. Morning everybody, Adler Farms. This is Lucy. Lucy is so tame, we've noticed. See, of course she was halter broke. We knew that when we got her because she came in on a halter. But she actually loaded herself in the trailer that we bought. You know the livestock trailer we had? If we leave the door open, Lucy will go over there and load herself. It's pretty funny. She gets in there and hangs out, turns around and comes out. But whether it's little donk's baby or not, if she looks like Miss Lucy, she'll be really pretty. Yeah. Are you jealous? Are you jealous? I'm a lot taller than him right now because I'm on a hill, so he'll be a little more shy. There we go. There we go. What's up, buddy? Uh-oh. The missus found out. You gonna bray right here? That would be loud, man. All right. Whoop, look out. Little donk, she don't want none. Badonka-donk. Can we hug? Can we hug? No. Man, can y'all hear that wind? Woo! It is ripping. And it's actually the coldest it's been so far. It's 54 degrees. And it feels amazing. You know, I'm still rocking the Crocs and shorts. Excuse me, pardon me. Can I have this one? You got any more in there? Don't get me. Don't get me. Hey, you had one in there. What'd you do with it? Ruh-roh. I don't think there's a full box. Nope, not even close. All right. So there's not very many eggs because I was here yesterday afternoon because the video you guys saw on Thursday on YouTube and Friday on Facebook, Friday morning. Woo, stand behind this, hang on. That video you guys saw was filmed yesterday. So I already collected the eggs, that's why there's not very many. But I did get the trailer tire off and it's in the back of the truck. Now somebody said that spray paint could have popped that seal, but that's only if we'd painted it first. Okay, that seal just, I don't think it got seated right or something. I'm not sure, but you know, it could have been something we hit, you know, when I pulled it through here, I don't know. We will fix that because we need a trailer because Ray and I are going to the auction tomorrow. Hang on, if we're gonna walk down here, whoa. Let me get a pew-pew, which, why do they call it a pew-pew? I'd rather call it a pow-pow. You know what I mean? Like, pew-pew. No way, dude. Pow-pow. Is that inappropriate? Sorry. Whoa, snuck up on me. Donkeys are stealthy critters, man. I haven't fed the alpacas yet. I need to go up there and do that. But we're gonna run down here to the pond and see if anything's feeling froggy. No frogs are at risk. Somebody thought the other day in the video that, and I'm just pointing this out, no big deal. Y'all thought that Fred was like sad because we brought back cow bones and he could tell they were cow bones. No, if you go back and watch the video, this pink scoop is Fred's best friend, and the pink scoop was up there by the bones. Ain't that right, Fredo? And wherever that pink scoop is, the Highlands follow. He has no idea those are cow bones, and trust me, if I spread cake on them, or heck, even if they probably weren't clean, he'd lick them if he thought there was some kind of nutrition value in it. Walking down here to the pond, boy, we need rain. It just gets lower and lower every day. It's doing that everywhere, it's not just here. I'm not wearing my snake boots, but I'm wearing camo, so snakes won't be able to see my feet. So it's kind of the same thing, right? It's pretty chilly this morning. I would imagine snakes are, even though it's gonna warm up again next week to at least the mid 80s, I would imagine the snakes are doing whatever they do to prepare to be dormant pretty quick. I don't see anything over here. I've gotten a few comments lately about, and We're just having a conversation. I'm not griping or complaining. But I've had some comments about how the pond just looks terrible. And it used to look so good, and this, that, and the other. Well, two things. The beaver, which we've seen no sign of. Doesn't mean he's not here, but we've seen no sign of him lately. It has not rained. Ray looked it up the other day. It has not rained here. And I believe there's some kind of threshold, like it can sprinkle and that doesn't count as a rain. But it has not rained here since June 11th. July, October, July, August, September, October. So in 5 days, no, 4 days, that'll be 4 months without rain, like a measurable amount of rain. 4 months. So if your pond doesn't look like this right now, there'll be a whole lot of people wanting to know your secret. However, with that said, with Brandon from Elite Earthworks coming down in the next week or so, tell us what to do about this pond. It's actually the perfect time to do something to it because it is so far down and you can see the banks and the slopes, and the way things should or shouldn't look is real easy to tell right now. I really want that tree down. This one's leaning. Whoop. This one's leaning. It's really windy, so I don't want to walk over there. That tree that's leaning is leaning against a tree twice its size. It ain't going anywhere. It's like wrapped up in the limbs. I'll probably actually have to wait on Brandon to take that one down. And then that right there is the one that's got my saw held captive. And I did get some wedges. Because a lot of you guys were like, man, you got to use wedges when it's like that, heavy on one side. Perfect. So I want to know. I appreciate it. My blades just got delivered as well. So now my big saw, because I actually got the little one stuck, because I was trying to cut a V, and that big saw is just not great for precision, man. It's more of a grip it and rip it. So the blades just got delivered, so I'm good to go. But what I think I'm gonna do, Ray's running some errands. So instead of trying to do that by myself, because it is kind of sketch, you know, if it was just a tree that needed to fall and it wasn't windy, no big deal. It's windy and it's already kind of in a peculiar position. So peculiar, I don't think I've said that word in a minute. I think what we're gonna do is go work on the front gate, and I'll show you what we're up against. I'll get Ray to come out here with me later to make sure those trees come down safely. Sound good? All right. Morning, ladies. How's everybody doing? Y'all want some fizz-ood? Y'all gotta back up. Woo! Oh, here he comes. Hey, Bruce. Here. Ah. I just threw it all over him. Whoops. Sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to do it like that. Ah. Morning, Snicker. Woo! Snicker, I'll get you your own. Come here. So some of y'all have asked why our feed is so dusty. And to be honest, I noticed when we first got it, but when we first got it, it was back in like April, and it was crazy windy like this, and I was just like, well, you know, it's still grain, it's gonna have some dust in it. When Gary came down and visited, or came up, I believe he bought some, and then he got to looking at mine or looking at his, or you guys probably know better than me, but in case you don't watch them, Walker Farm Fam, friends of ours, Gary messaged me and he said, hey, I'm probably gonna switch over to that other grain because our animals were having a tendency to kind of choke on it and whatnot. And we haven't seen that, but I will admit you lose a lot of weight in grain. Now how much? I don't know. I mean, I can buy 1,000 pounds of this for about 150 bucks. So that's bulk feed prices for you. So if you lose a little bit, you lose a little bit, but losing a little bit and losing a lot is the same thing when you're talking about food. I mean, let's say that's by the time the 1,000 pounds is gone, let's say you've lost, you know, even 5%. That's 2 or 3 days worth of feed that you've lost in dust. So I don't know why they make it like that, but there's one step up that's not grainy like that, or dusty, I should say. And that's what Gary's got. So we are going to switch over. I just have one more barrel to go through, but I'm just kind of feeding very generously to move it along. When it's not windy, you don't notice it near as bad. It's windy. It's actually blowing in a cold front, so I'm ready though, man. I'm ready for 40-degree weather, 30-degree, I don't care less. I'm ready. Now Ray Ann's ready to turn the heat on at the house. But let me tell you something. Put on another pair of sweats and another hoodie. All right, there's the back side of the gate. By the way, sincerely appreciate all the comments. It does look amazing. You can see the back side here. I've got a deck board. Now when we go across that way and that way, I may not use this deck board. It doesn't add any kind of rigidity. We're also going to put our posts about 8 feet apart. Won't have to worry about the wobbliness like these have, but putting that board on there certainly did firm it up. Now I could come back, we could put posts right here and whatnot, but truly guys, if an animal wanted through this or that barbed wire, animal's gonna go right through it. I don't care if it's an alpaca, I don't care if it's a steer, I don't care if it's one of the highlands. Fences are just respected. They don't truly hold an animal in. Now, 6-7 strands of barbed wire, high tensile, high strength, that kind of thing, absolutely. But here, it's not like we've got 30 head on 20 acres and they're all just barking for food all day long because they're running out and they're pressured. Everybody here, every animal on this farm can walk to some other corner and find food. If not, hay. Which brings me to another point. Let me talk to you about the hay a second. The hot wire, which it's not even hot, but don't tell the critters, keeps the donkeys out, keeps the cows out, but Bruce and his little girlfriend, and Bo's still not here yet. We don't know where he's at. He should be over there. I don't want to show you where, but he should be over with the neighbors. But anyway, they get in here, the goats do, and they get up on top of it. They chew it like midway. The goats are getting in here and eating stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do, this is the highest spot on the property and it stays the driest. And I think what I'm gonna do is maybe fence off a section up here. Don't focus on my finger, there we go. And move this hay up in there and keep all the animals out. Like I'm gonna use the cattle panels that we're using to build our fence to make a spot for the hay so nobody can get in there. Because I really worry about them eating that twine. I know some of y'all are losing your marbles about it, but it's not the big animals, it's the little ones. And they are a little bit more diligent about not eating it. And if they do, it's a goat. Don't they eat everything? That's what the cartoons taught us, right? But that'll be one of the first things we do as soon as we finish this front fence. So we need to pull that post out, move the gate to here, pull that post out, move the latch to here, and I shouldn't even need this spacer, but we'll see. And I've also got to build this right here, which if I had more time, this is a cutoff from over there. If I had more time, I'd probably do more than just a cattle panel right here, like maybe make this solid with 2x6s. And here's why. Our gate control arm is gonna mount right here, but then you hang like your battery pack, your solar, all that stuff, and it'd just be a really nice place to mount everything if this was solid. You can see I've already done it here and here, but we'll see. Cattle panels work just the same. It's not a huge deal. It's not like it's more secure, but I don't know, it might be kind of pretty too to do a solid wall right there. Sometimes the contrast of the solid wall and a cattle panel can look pretty, can look good. So anyway, let me get started on this. And there's not much to watch. I'm just gonna drill a few holes. The other thing, the only obstacle I have is I have these bolts right here that should go all the way through. Oh yeah, that's plenty. They should go all the way through to hold the gate. And of course you wanna put them right in the middle. And since I'm toenailing my boards, it may not work. Like if I made this a solid surface right here, I mean, I guess I could always just move the 2x6 that way. It's just gonna get real crowded. We'll see. Let me mess with it for a minute and see what looks good. I've got a lot of cutoffs, so instead of wasting them, I thought about using them in that space. So shall see. But you guys sit tight. I don't know if I have a tripod, so I may not film this, but when I'm done, I'll show you guys. So sit tight. Oh. No way that's low enough or high enough. Hang on. Oh, come on. Oh, man. It worked, kind of. What's going on? So it's been a couple of hours. Squeaky. Uh-oh. That didn't thread right. Hang on. It has been a couple of hours. I worked on the front gate, ran home and grabbed the blades that had been delivered. And what else? Took the tire to the shop, got all that situated. And the tire, apparently, which I knew this, or I shouldn't say I knew it happened, but whoever seated this tire on here just didn't clean some of the rust around the bead. Seals up. Because if you guys didn't know, if you've never messed with tires or whatever, and by no means am I an expert, but just to backtrack and give you full story, we bought this trailer. It had like 3 different size tires on it. So we ran to our local tire shop. They put brand new tires on it, but a tire has to actually seal right here. There's like a bead in there that popped behind that rim. And whoever did it just didn't get this one cleaned well enough, but it would have been the same person that did this one. So probably just an honest mistake. Nobody did it on purpose. But anyway, took it to the tire shop. They had it done in about 20 minutes for free. No big deal. All right, let's see. That's it. Hang on. I'm sure those are torqued to spec. And yes, an 887 will absolutely put those back on. These are impact ready. We're good to go at the auction tomorrow now. I'm not super worried about it. It's not going anywhere. Those are plenty tight. What I'll do tomorrow before we leave, it'll be off camera. But if you guys didn't know what you can do, and Gary did this for me in his driveway. I didn't realize you could do it with a 2x4, but he changed the tire for me on a trailer a couple months back, and you can throw a 2x4 down in front of your tire. And when you drive up on it, which actually you'd want to back up, and when you back up, of course your wheel and your tire would jump up on that, and then it would raise this one off the ground a little bit, especially with it jacked up all the way. So anyway, we'll do that tomorrow. I don't want to mess with it tonight because I don't want to back my truck up to it. Someone said my Krylon, which Krylon used to be like $1 a can. Now it's like $4 or $5. It's ridiculous. But Krylon, Rust-Oleum, I don't know what I got over there. But anyway, somebody said that could have made it like pop off, like unseat. We spray painted them after the tires were put on it, so that's not possible. Let's see, we have one saw stuck in the tree, and we have the big boy right here. So let's take both of these, load them in the truck, and head over to the trees. Ray does not know, she's not here, but she does not know I'm doing this, otherwise she'd tell me to wait. She had some errands to run. She would certainly tell me to wait until at least Case was out of school and he could come out here. That's like 2 or 3 hours from now, and I'm excited because my saw blades are in. So the other day, those of you that praised me for being safety conscious, I sincerely appreciate it. But today is probably not going to be one of those days. All right, so this is the beefy boy. This is a 20-inch 55cc. It's as good as it gets. It's basically a commercial saw. It's got captive lock nuts, which means if you take them off in the field, like if I'm over there working and I need to adjust this, these are actually attached to this bar and chain cover. So anyway, this is about as good as it gets. Also, I asked some of you guys that knew about drive links and whatnot. Where's that box so I can show you? Well, I ordered this online. This is how it showed up. I mean, it was in an envelope. It was in an envelope, but clearly it was maybe a recycled box or something. I don't know. But drive links. Is that 7/8 right there? 7/8. I did figure out that you cannot swap a 7/8 and an 80 or a 72 through you guys and Google search. But anyway, it's good to go now. And once we get done working on the land and stuff, you know, I won't need this saw as much. So it's not like I need to have, you know, 10, 12 chains laying around. You know, like once I get done with some of these projects, I'm actually going to take these to a Husqvarna dealer and they'll tune them up and clean them and all that good stuff. And that way, when you put them away and store them, they're not, you know, stored nasty and gross. So we're back here in the overflow. Here's where the tree's got my saw. I know some of you guys said take that off if it bends or folds or whatever. You'll ruin the motor, but it is in there so tight that I actually can't get it out. It actually pinched my saw and the blade. It's too risky to stand right there. So we're just gonna fell the tree, and when we do it, the saw will fall and I'll get out of the way and it'll be no big deal. But this is a big old tree. So no matter how safe or unsafe this looks, it's my decision to make. We're gonna make it all right. It's gonna be okay. And I'm starting to think we might just fell this and let it fall where it wants. It really, really wants to come straight towards us, but I've already made a scarf. Some of you, I called it a relief cut. Some of you guys called it a feller's cut. Is that right? But basically it's a V that makes it fall the direction you want it to. What happens here? I bought some legit wedges. They're from Cold Creek. They're not actually called legit wedges, but anyway, these are wedges that you put in there and they kind of direct the tree. They keep it from binding up your saw basically and push the tree the way you want it to go. But I don't know. We're going to give it a shot. I don't even want to tell you what I was using as wedge. What I was using was like limbs and a sledgehammer, and I would shove the limb in there, which is what they used to do. It's just these are like a real durable polymer and they can't get crushed by the tree's weight because it's more stout than the wood you would use. We're going to try it. Worst case scenario, we're going to find out how fast I am. None of these saws, none of this equipment, big saw here, big saw there, none of these are worth my life. The truck's far enough away. I don't know where the cows are at, but they're not back here. So it's just me alone in the woods, but I am texting Ray right now, and I have instructions to text her once it's down. And she knows that's going to be next 10 or 15 minutes. Otherwise, she'll come out here and call or something like that. But let's party. Just driving that one wedge in there, I don't know if I'm in frame or not, actually allowed me to free up the little saw. So I got it out of there. But check this out. So there's a like fine tuning tension screw that goes right there, and it's actually gone. So that's interesting. So guess I'm gonna need a new one of those. Say a little prayer. I didn't even have time to come tell you guys it was no way it was going this way. I didn't want to walk away from it. I know I'm yelling, sorry. I didn't want to walk away from it knowing which way it really wanted to go and then try and creep back up on it. It went smoother. I did. Before I ran, I threw the brake on. That is the biggest tree back here by far. And still got some big limbs. But I can stand up there, cut the limb, and the weight of it. I can stand up there on the hill, and the weight of it will just drop the limb right down here. But let me show you what's kind of crazy is I had 3 wedges in here behind this thing, and it still came this way. That's a brand new blade. I want to be careful with that. Yeah, it just refused to go. That's how big that tree is. I mean, that's huge. That's especially right here at the trunk. That's every bit of 24 inches around. That opens things up like crazy. I found the cows, by the way, or at least one of them. Can't tell if it's Tessie or June from here, but where there's one, there's the rest of them. And I got snake boots on and chaps. I'm pretty bad about eyewear, I'm not gonna lie, but in my experience, this is terrible. I know they make non-fog. I know. They fog up on me. I don't know if it's because I sweat so much or what. And the last thing I want is anything impeding me from knowing what's going on. Like hearing protection. When I was running that saw just now, right before it popped, if I'd had hearing protection, I wouldn't have heard it pop. But I was actually pulling the saw out and anticipating a little bit of kickback. And I got real close. You want to keep your blade moving because it'll pinch it if you stop usually. And I knew if I didn't want to let go of the trigger, but I also didn't want to go full throttle because I knew it would send it right through. I don't know, butterfly, just barely touched the trigger, got the blade to the end, and right as the blade came out, I think that's what the tree was resting on because I could feel it start to pinch. Right as the blade came out, the tree popped and there it went. Whew. All right, y'all can unclench now. Guys, I didn't run the camera near as much because I just don't feel confident to worry about where it's at and to keep running this. This is like I said, I'm not trying to be cool. Anybody can buy this. It's a you only mess up once saw. And I'm by no means anywhere near even a novice when it comes to felling some of these trees, as you can see. So there's one that needs to go away from us. And I cut 2 trees that needed to go away from us into that one. So now I can't even get to that one. So I should have done it first, then the second one, then this big one. Live and learn. And the main thing is live. And you know, somebody said something about, why are you doing that? You got a dozer coming? Well, I want to reiterate, we don't know what trees we want to keep back here. We don't know which ones are even dead. You know, which ones the fire may have killed or starved of oxygen at least. But we know we need any of them near the dam down. Like any of them. I would say anything beyond this point right here and that way has to come down. This may look real thick right here, but it's just a bunch of little 10 foot oak trees. You can just buzz them off. Tractor, skid steer. Heck, you probably brush hog them if you were brave enough. All this right here's got to go. And we still got a long road ahead of us. Plus, when Brandon from Elite Earthworks comes down here, I promise he's gonna, when he comes down here, anything we've got out of the way is less time he has to spend on something I could have done before he got here. I am all about figuring it out yourself, learning yourself. I'm also not afraid to be the first one to call an expert, quote unquote expert, but somebody else also had to figure it out first. There was no experts to begin with, right? I'm gonna pack these saws up. They're running beautifully. While I paused the video, this actually got delivered. I knew that I busted the blade guard the other day. I knew I busted it and I ordered a new one. So while you guys were on pause, I went up to the front, got in the mailbox, and this was brand new. That's OEM, it just doesn't have the badge on it. But now I can fine tune, adjust it again, and all that good stuff. You guys that chainsaw a lot, gals too, do we turn our bars upside down because we look cool? Because there's a whole lot of people on the interwebs doing that. But I think what it has to do with, like, the bar just kind of becomes, you know, you get pressure up you put pressure down and down and down and down. Eventually that bar is going to kind of bend a little bit. I mean, these things are under a lot of stress and a lot of heat when they're running. So you turn that bar over and it's kind of like the other side of the pillow. Does that make sense? Or is there some scientific logic to it? I don't know. I know a lot of things today. Ready? I also know you have to put bar oil in there, which looks like I need some, because that turns the sprocket right there. Or maybe it's that hole. I don't know. You guys tell me. Nope, that's the hole for the fine adjustment if you turn it around. No, that can't be right. See, I have no idea what I'm doing. I know you put grease or oil up there somewhere, because that turns, that's like the drive link. Like the chain moves that, which moves the engine. Something about the flux capacitor. I don't know. Anyway, let's go look at the cows and make sure they're over here. Before we get out of here, we will check on the cows real quick and make sure they're over there. And then I've got one more thing to run the chainsaw with, and we'll be super careful because it's like two little tiny cuts. And the last thing I want to do is, like I said, run a chainsaw that long and then get hurt, basically calling it a day. But let's go check some cows in. So it's like the hangout spot now. I see everybody except Fred. Fred might be off by himself. Nope, there he is. So there's the two girls, Burger Bros. There's Fredo. All right. Hey, come here. You're all right. Come here, buddy. Come here. I know, you don't usually come back here. Does it make you nervous? Attaboy. Hi. Said it once and I'll say it again. Ain't nothing messes with anything on a farm when you got donkeys, man. I mean, dogs are tough. And usually their scent alone can keep coyotes at bay. But those donkeys, man, they don't play. They don't play at all. All right, we're up the front of the property. We gotta hurry because I gotta go pick up Case from school. But check this out. All right. I moved the gate. I added this, and I didn't show you guys enough last time. I need to though. I put deck boards on the back of it. See that? See how pretty? And they even match left to right. So they're all parallel and perpendicular and horizontal with the horizon and something, whatever else is important there. But the last thing we got to do is take these posts out. I was going to just put a strap around them and pull them out with my truck, but they're in there like swimwear, if you know what I'm saying. Like when you see somebody walking around the beach and they're picking their seat, it's in there like swimwear. Get it? Picking their seat. My dad taught me that when I was a kid. So all right, we're just gonna buzz these off with a saw and don't worry about it. Oh, and wait, here's the best part. That dude, that gate is on there now. I put some big old 3/4, 12-inch lag bolts in there. Lag hinges? What is the proper term for one of these? Then I even reinforced it with a 1-bias so there was even more, you know, stability and whatnot. So super cool, man. But these are in there. I wasn't too worried about these. Nobody will see them but us in and out. I don't know. Ray may be like, hey, please put a full board there, even though the rest of it looks good. But man, it just looks amazing. It looks amazing. I'm so pleased with how it turned out. Like I said, we're gonna buzz these off. I probably won't do it right now because I need to go get Case. I'm pressed for time. Yep, definitely pressed for time. Yep, definitely. But no, wait, let's do it. Hang on. Okay. Despite how everything else has looked, that's probably the silliest thing I've done with a chainsaw to date. But we got her in there. We can still go get Case. I'm hustling. I'm being safe. This is how dedicated I am. Normally I film on Saturdays. Hang on. Normally I film on Saturdays and then upload Saturday afternoon, believe it or not. That's how current you guys are. But since we're going to the auction, I'm filming the day, Friday. I'll have to edit this tonight. It'll be ready for you guys tomorrow night if you're on YouTube, and it'll be ready Sunday for those of you on Facebook. Let me pull up here and I'll give you the big grand view. Hang on. Oh yeah. What I like most is the gate works, man. The gate works, look at that. Just shoot, listen. You can't teach this. Look how level that is. Oh man, it's so pretty. Turned out so good. I love it. Let's go get Case. And by the way, he still has a couple days coming up where he's out of school, and I'm gonna make him because I'm dad. He's getting as big as me. You guys are gonna be shocked. He's huge. Okay, he's taller than Ray. He's taller than Grandma. He's huge, and he's starting to sound like me. He'd borrow my razor if I used one. One other thing, we're going to the auction tomorrow, and somebody inquired, didn't question us, but inquired, why would you go to the auction heading into winter? You know, I thought it was a terrible time to buy with the drought going on, blah, blah, blah. Well, like I said earlier, we're not overloaded. We don't have too many animals. We have more hay than we need. Even if an animal was born in the dead of winter in January, it's not gonna eat hay. It's gonna have its mom. And if something's wrong where it can't get milk from mom, it's gonna be on colostrum and dry powder anyway. So we're good. And it's a buyer's market if you have the room, okay? There is another YouTuber I want you to go check out. It's Rhett from 100 Acre Wood Highlands. My buddy Rhett, that's where Fred came from. Rhett and I are talking about a deal on a Highland, but we need to go to this auction first and see what's going on. But stay tuned for that. I don't know if Rhett's mentioned it on his channel. I didn't even check with him before I asked. So there may not be anything available. Don't go ask him. But anyway, I'll link him down below. Go check him out. Anything and everything Highlands. Go check out Rhett and his family. I woke up today. I told all three of my boys, my beautiful wife, I loved them. And I came out here and I ran a chainsaw and took a trailer tire to get changed. And you guys that watch us are the reason that we can come out here and do this. Okay, these sponsorships that I talk about getting, the only reason we get those is not because I'm Chad of Adler Farms. It's because of you guys watching Adler Farms and caring about us and the boys and my wife. And I just can't thank you guys enough. I will never, ever be able to thank y'all enough. But please don't ever confuse my jokes, my sarcasm, my confidence for arrogance or ungratefulness. I am so thankful for how blessed I am, and I'll never forget it. God bless you guys. Y'all be good. Don't work too hard. Don't make it weird. God bless. Deuces.